I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. We're extremely excited to have a guest that everybody recognizes. I'll just let Gary start with the first question. It's Davis Love III. Take it away, Gary.
Oh, my first question was, who is this? But I guess that's already been answered. It doesn't, people always say a guy doesn't, this person needs no introduction, then they proceed to introduce them. But you really don't need an introduction. Hall of Famer, Davis Love. It's that time of the year we're starting to really think about the Ryder Cup. You were captain at Hazeltine when the U.S. won, and now you're involved in renovating the golf course. I think we got to talk Ryder Cup first. We're on the eve of the picks and all that, but go back to Hazeltine and tell us a cute story, or inside story of what that win felt like for you.
Well, it was a big win for the team, and back after the loss in 2014 over in Europe, and kind of an implosion of our team. A lot of stuff got out of our team room that should have gotten out. A lot of anxiety and, just basically frustration boiled over. And unfortunately for Tom Watson, he was in the middle of all of it. But ever since then, we've been working really hard to be better captains, coaches, team organizers. And then we went to Korea in 15 with Jay Haas and had a nice win there in the President's Cup. And then, we needed to win a Ryder Cup, and we put a lot of effort into it. The players put a lot of effort into it and really went out there and made more birdies than I think any Ryder Cup team's ever made. Europe played great, but we were kind of in control the whole time. And then my biggest memory is just the relief and the excitement those guys had spraying champagne on that bridge by 18 green at Hazeltine. That, hey, we finally are back on the winning side of the Ryder Cup. And I know all of us captains, assistant captains, were just relieved that we finally got another win.
Do you think the people who have been captains would always want to do it again, or is it just so all-consuming that you need some time to rest?
Well, it's a big, big job. The Ryder Cup as an event just gets bigger every 2 years. The captain's job gets bigger every 2 years. When I got to do it in 2012, I obviously thought that was my one shot. And we put a lot of effort into it. My wife, Robin, and I, we lived it for 2 years with the PGA of America and their great team. And after it was over, it was obviously a disappointing loss. We thought that was our time and our Ryder Cup journey. So I was extremely nervous and humbled and blessed to get to do it again. That whole, we shouldn't have called it a task force, but that committee that got together and kind of changed the direction the U.S. team was going in 2014, 15. I was just honored that group of players and captains picked me to do it again. I was extremely honored that Jay Monahan and Tiger Woods and the group picked me to be President's Cup captain in Charlotte last year. So I feel like I've had more than my share of turns. Hopefully this is my last Ryder Cup and we can move on from Davis Love, who needs no introduction to the players, but there's some young guys like Zach and Stuart Sink, and we had Webson last year in Charlotte. There's some new guys that need to take over and lead these teams, but it's been a great journey for me as captain and assistant captain.
Even though you're a vice captain this time, I'm sure the agony and the ecstasy and the nerves are probably the same. What's it like to be a vice captain?
It's less stress. Zach Johnson didn't sleep real well last night, but I slept fine. I didn't have to call any players today, tell them they were off the team. So it's a great role for me, and both of y'all have known me, my whole career. I just want to out. I would much rather be behind the scenes and making things happen. I remember we went to Korea with Jay Haas's team, and Jim Furyk was hurt but still came as an assistant captain, and he caught me plugging in golf carts late one evening at our team facility course. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm charging the carts. He goes, don't they have people to do that? I said, do you see anybody around here doing it? I said, when we get up in the morning, our carts are going to be charged. And he goes, oh, I get it. This is what Davis does. I go, yeah, I take care of the things that make things happen. And I love doing that. You know, I lived my whole life trying to do things for other people. Like my dad, a club pro, teaching pro. That's all he did his whole life, was try to make people enjoy their golf and get better at it. That's all I want to do for this team, for Zach, is help them be prepared and play better golf. And I don't want any credit for it. I hate the speeches. I hate the phone calls. I hate the whole circus of being a captain, but I love helping them get out there and play. And, you know, Zach's doing a great job. And, you know, Stuart Sink and I are sitting here in Texas just waiting for him to tell us something to do, and then we'll go do it. If it's getting coffee or if it's making phone calls or just giving him advice. He asked me 100 times in the last 48 hours things that he should be ready for on these calls and this press conference and thing. That's all I'm doing, is just experience and giving advice. And now we can move on to making pairings and all the fun stuff of actually playing the matches.
What do you remember about you mentioned phone calls in 2016? You had to make a great one to Ryan Moore and a tough one to Bubba Watson. Can you recall that a little bit? And of course, you ended up adding Bubba as a vice captain to the team, which he was pretty happy about.
Yeah, you know, it seems like every Ryder Cup cycle, something changes, throws us a curveball. And that year, we were picking 3 players and announcing them the week before the Tour Championship. And then we were saving one pick, the Billy Horschel rule, saving one pick in case something dramatic happened at the Tour Championship. But we were going right from the Tour Championship to play the Ryder Cup the very next week. In hindsight, that was a bad plan. We should have just picked the whole team at once. But what happened was we called 3 players, told them they were on the team. Good luck at the Tour Championship. We'll make our next pick in a week. And then I screwed up and I didn't call guys like Bubba Watson and tell them, hey, we picked these 3 guys. Go have a good week at Tour Championship. We'll let you know on Sunday. So Bubba actually called me and said, hey, what's the deal? I haven't heard from you. And I'm sorry, Bubba. I screwed this up. I'll call you next week. Go win the Tour Championship. Go win the FedEx Cup. You know, play well. You still got a shot. Well, then I had to call him a week later and say, by the way, you're number 7 in the world and 9 in points, but we're not picking you. And he's like, can you tell me why? And I go, yeah, because Ryan Moore is playing great. He's putting great. You know, he's going to be our last pick. And no offense to your game, but he really fits what we're doing with pairings and fits the golf course. He goes, okay, great. Can I still come and be assistant captain? And I was blown away. You know, he wasn't mad about it. He understood. And I think we as captains get so worked up over the calls. And the guys, I mean, to a man, all the calls I've ever made, sure, there's disappointment, but there's no defiance. There's no, all right, I'll be pulling for you guys. I'm going to make the next team. They've been really, really good. So Bubba was great. He was a great assistant captain. We had a lot of fun. And, you know, his goal is, as a player, he wants to be in the Hall of Fame and he wants to be Ryder Cup captain, were 2 of his biggest things. So unfortunately, it looks like now things have really changed with the landscape of golf and live and all that. So I'm glad Bubba got a shot to be with us in 16.
Was it more gratifying that for you that Ryan Moore made the winning putt, or I recall reading the scene where Bubba came over to give you a hug afterwards and was sobbing on your shoulder, thanking you for letting him be a part of it?
Bubba and I both are good at, when we try to give a speech or talk about something we're passionate about, we get teary-eyed or just flat out break down crying. And so Bubba's running up to me on 17 green with Brant Snedeker because he was walking with Brant, and he came up to give me a hug, and I went, no crying now. we got to go back to the green. It's going to end on 18. So I brushed him off that one, and we got up there, and in 93, I made the last putt, and the crowd came out and rushed me, and at the Belfry, and I never got my golf ball out of the hole. And so I was waiting for Ryan to putt. And I wanted to see what happened with his golf ball. So he putted it up there, left it a little short, I think. So the matches are over. We win. Everybody runs out there. And I went around the crowd and came in and picked up Ryan's ball and put it in my pocket. And then I turned around, and now here comes Bubba. And he just broke down. I mean, literally sobbing with emotion that he was a part of a Ryder Cup. And that's all he wanted to do. He didn't really, sure he wanted to play, but he just wanted to be a part of that Ryder Cup. And to get the win was incredible. Now, obviously, he got to play the next year. But you know, that's how much it means to these guys. You know, Brandt, to see grown men like Steve Stricker who are not even playing in the event to break down crying because they're so passionate about it. And, you know, I get teary-eyed just talking about it, much less when we're at the Ryder Cup.
Well, tell us the punchline about the Ryan's golf ball. Then there's a punchline.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the punchline is that I told Ryan, whatever we got back to the hotel, whatever, I said, hey, Brian, I lost my golf ball in 1993, so I rescued yours, and I gave it to him. And then he came back later that, you know what, you lost your ball. I want you to have mine. And
wow,
that's what the all about.
That's really nice. Davis, do you remember? Do you remember that? What was the most nervous you ever were at a Ryder Cup?
Oh, easily the most nervous I was the first tee in 1993. You know, we had Tom Watson was our captain. I'm playing with my mentor, Tom Kite. We've been planning on it all week, and we get to Friday morning, and there's a fog delay for like 2 hours. And I'm just sitting there getting more and more nervous. So we kind of had to walk around the building to get to the first tee. And we were on the other side, and we could hear the cheers. The people are anxious because they've been waiting hours for the matches to start. And we're starting to walk around the building for our match. And I pulled on Kite's sweater and said, hey, I think you should hit on the odd holes. And he goes, no, we had this plan. You're hitting off the odds. I go, yeah, I just figured out that number 1 is an odd hole. I don't want to hit. I can't do it. And he goes, no, you'll be fine. Come on, hit me one out there in the fairway. And that was the most once I got to the golf course, I was okay. But just waiting that anticipation for 3 or 4 days to hit my first ever Ryder Cup shot with Tom Kite. And by the way, we're playing Seve and Jose. So not a good way to start your Ryder Cup career playing the Spanish Armada.
Scotty Scheffler said that he was so nervous he couldn't feel his arms. So I thought maybe you'd have a good story also.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of guys now since my playing days, watched a lot of tee shots off the first tee at Ryder Cups. And you can literally see guys like Jordan Spieth, who are, you know, just unbelievable pressure players, get up there on the first tee, and they're literally shaking. And part of it's excitement, but part of it's nerves. You know, I remember watching Brooks at Hazeltine every day on the first tee. He just hit this giant pull hook out into the tents every day because he was just so nervous and so jacked up that he couldn't slow down. But once you get them out on the golf course, and that's what we're trying to stress to these guys is, hey, we need to be ready for this moment, especially like a Wyndham Clark. We're going to go over there and play practice rounds and show him what it looks like with these huge grandstands and say to him, imagine all the noise that's going to be here when you tee off on the first tee in a Ryder Cup match on an away game. So it's so nerve-wracking. I always say it's like the last 9 of the Masters, except it's every shot all week long is like that. Like, you know that every shot is so important. And, you know, it's a little different in Ryder Cup than in just regular play, because sure, you're nervous for golf, for results, but you're playing with your teammate and you're playing for your captain and you're playing red, white, and blue, and all those things add up. And that's why these guys love it. They love it because they love the pressure. Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay and Ricky Fowler and on. Those guys love to stand up in front of people and show off. And, you know, you're going to see our team tomorrow when Zach announces it. It's a team of guys that will stand up big in moments like that. Like we kept asking ourselves, making these picks, who's going to make the putt on Sunday? Who's going to hit the 7-iron coming down the stretch and hit it stiff in a match? Who are those type of players that have either done it before or we know can do it? And it's, as Zach keeps saying, it's not the best 12 players available statistically. It's the best team camaraderie and team confidence and team cohesiveness that you're going to put together. And you're going to see the picks, and there's going to be some obvious guys that are playing better than other guys, maybe in FedEx or in the points race. But it's about putting together 2-man teams that can go out there and play under pressure. And I love this year's lineup. We say it every year. We got a really, really strong team, and most of them are playing great right now.
Does the golf course have any impact on who you might select? And we're going to know who they are, but what's this golf course like? None of us here in the U.S. probably know anything about it.
Well, that's a great question, Gary, because that's what we as captains have learned. Rather than getting on a plane and going and seeing what the Belfry's like or what Valderrama is like, we're going early to play. Our analytics team that we've been using since 2016 has already been there a couple times and studied the golf course. They built a model of the golf course and plug it into all the ShotLink and kind of data that they have and see how our guys would play it. And with all these strokes gained and all these numbers that get produced by ShotLink, we can project not what type of player, but how each individual player, how does Ricky Fowler or Sam Burns or Scotty Scheffler fit on this golf course? What are the strengths that they have in their game that'll fit? It's a different course than I think anything we played. Maybe leans a little bit towards the one in Paris, but it's probably generous fairways, not overly tight. But then you have a little bit of like whatever kind of bluegrass regular rough that they're used to. But then it goes to that tall fescue stuff. So it's either like fairway, maybe you're okay, or it's possibly a lost ball. So you model in the guys that drive it well, guys that hit good iron shots from specific distances. Obviously, putting is important, but and then if you have a guy that's strong in one thing and another guy that's strong in another thing, they match up well on the golf course and alternate shot. There's a whole lot of analytics that go into it now that we really didn't understand. But then week in and week out, you guys know that these guys, they not only have a swing coach or a short game coach or a trainer or a therapist, they also have their own analytics people that help them study how to tear apart a golf course or where their weaknesses are in the game. So the generation that's used to, using their TrackMan, using technology, using analytics. So our analytics team will help them sort out where their strengths are and how to play the golf course.
In the old days, you just had an analyst, not an analytic person. That's crazy.
We understand you're doing a renovation to Hazeltine, Davis. Why would you want to touch it?
Well, because they asked. Hazeltine has always been looking to the future. When they built that course, they built it to host major championships. They weren't thinking, we're just build a nice club, and then down the road they decided that they wanted to have the U.S. Open. They built it one because they love golf, in Minnesota, but they wanted to make it their mission to host tournaments. So now they've had a couple little tweaks here and there to the golf course over the years, but now infrastructure wise, the stuff under the ground, we call it, has to be fixed. They have a beautiful piece of property. They just want to take it to the next level. So we're just in a kind of a master planning stage. They got the U.S. Amateur next year. They have other big tournaments that could happen before the Ryder Cup. So there's at some point between now and 2027, 28, we're going to come up with a plan for what to do to the golf course. But they don't think a year or two ahead. They're thinking 2040. They're thinking U.S. Opens down the road. Obviously they're going to be maybe the only course in the United States that's had 2 Ryder Cups. I guess maybe Whistling Straits might be on the docket for another one, but they're all in. They built a beautiful clubhouse years ago, and that was ready for the Ryder Cup in 16. And now they're going to take it to the golf course. It's not just the golf course; it's practice facility. It's a short course. It's maybe cottages. All kinds of ideas are getting thrown out there, and it's going to be a fun next year of us working on that master plan with them.
I think you need to Y.E. Yang proof it is what you need to do.
Yeah, it's got a great history of strange outcomes there. I'm glad that the 2016 Ryder Cup team had the expected outcome. We're going to be shooting for that in 29. So, obviously they have a short season, but they have a passionate membership that plays a lot of golf, does a lot of walking. They love their golf course. So we need to make sure that we're preparing it for major championships, but that somebody has to play it the rest of the year. And we want to make sure that the members are thrilled, excited, eager to go play their golf course. It's gotten a little bit plain over the years. It is a great golf course. It can be a stern test when they set it up for a major, but it's just it's gotten tired a little bit, and I think they realized that their clubhouse was tired, so they tore it down and built a new one. I always say we're going to spend, whatever the number is, millions of dollars, but most of the money goes under the ground. It's drainage, irrigation, infrastructure, it's roads, especially for a major championship. You got to think about hospitality tents. You got to think about moving people around the golf course. There's a lot of this money that is going to get spent that the members are going to wonder, where did it go? And it's hard to see what's under the ground.
I remember a couple of bottlenecks out there spectating the events. So yeah, I can see where when you say you're moving some things around or it gets congested, because it does. And that course I remember particularly. Don't you, Gary?
Yeah, they have a huge property. There's probably.
Go ahead.
There's probably room for 36 holes out there on that piece of property.
Oh.
The reason why Carrie from the PGA of America or the USGA like it is because they have a lot of room to put a lot of stuff in there. You can build a cup and make it the biggest tournament ever because they have enough room. But Kathy's right. You get down there near the lake and it bottlenecks. You saw in the Ryder Cup they changed the routing. They used 7, 8, and 9 as 16, 17, and 18 to get the bottlenecks out of the way where the matches were going to end. So we have to factor that in our plan. So, there's a lot of great golf course architects out there, but I'm in the tournament operations business at the RSM Classic. I have been on and captained a lot of Ryder Cup, President's Cup teams, and we understand the challenges of a tournament. We also have a lot of experience in great golf courses and what we like to play and where they play major championships. So, and honestly, we've had maybe 30 or 40 different clients in our golf design business. I have never seen a club, a board more structured and organized and prepared they have a great team there. Chris Trittabaugh, their green superintendent, that's been there probably 15 years, that I worked with on the 16 Ryder Cup. He's one of the best in the business. Their new club manager is really thinking long term about that's for this club and for majors. So it's a great team, and that's what we want to be involved with, is somebody that has that vision and has that passion and commitment. They don't want to just say, oh, Hazeltine is nice, we'll just keep doing the same old thing. No, they want to be the place to play golf in the Midwest. They want it to be a destination, like going to Bandon Dunes or Sand Valley or now everything around Augusta, all these cool places to play golf. They want people to see Hazeltine in that light. Like we need to go play there because that's an incredible golf course.
Yeah. Now, if you can do something about the industrial strength mosquitoes, I think that would be the most important thing.
They have a lot of lakes in Minnesota. I don't know if we can stop them.
And so do you anticipate making a significant, really changing a hole dramatically, or just making everything look better? Maybe it's too early to say, but anything like that?
No, yes, it'll be a dramatic difference. They have everything they need there, except for, that golden age, or that, you look at what Bo Welling and Gil Hantz and Andrew Green and Core Crenshaw, you just look at the stuff that they're doing, and the stuff that, frankly, that we've put out recently. It's not rocket science, but Hazeltine doesn't look like any of those golf courses.
Yeah.
We just saw like Oak Hill.
Oak Hill was incredible.
Incredible. So what we do, if Gary and Kathy want us to build a golf course, we come to you and say, look, here are the places that they're hosting major championships. Here are the places that, Mike Kaiser's building that everybody has to go play. Here are the places that people, they want to go see Wingfoot. They want to play Chicago Golf Club. How can we get in Seminole? I want to play Pebble Beach, and then while I'm there, I want to play Cypress Point. The places we clamor to play should be our inspiration. And,
Okay.
Pete Dye had an incredible style. Ben Crenshaw has an incredible style. And Hazeltine just doesn't have a personality now because it's changed so much over the years. The first time they played there, the players hated it. And there are a lot of dog legs. And ever since then, it's been changed and tweaked and changed and tweaked, but it's never had a vision of what Hazeltine should be. So we went to the University of Virginia to renovate their facility up there for the team and for the resort, the Boar's Head Resort. And we said, it's a 200-year-old university. It should have a classic style looking golf course. Sea Island has the seaside course that's, a lot of marsh and a lot of a windswept, linksy looking place. We felt like their other golf course should look like it had been there for a long, long time. Should have those golden age, Seth Rayner looking features. So at Hazeltine, we need to come up with, as a team, what was originally Hazeltine's intent? What should it look like? It shouldn't look like Pebble Beach. It probably shouldn't look like Seminole, but it should be something with the details of golden age architecture, the things we've come to love. You play Pete Dye golf courses, and when you start really thinking about it, you go, oh yeah, that's actually his version of a Redan green. Yes, that's actually his version of a punch bowl or railroad ties. He didn't invent railroad ties in bunkers. He got that from Prestwick and some of the cool places in Scotland. So our inspiration really for Hazeltine and a lot of the places that we do work is, what are the golden age things that we love to play, and how do we put that, keep the tradition of Hazeltine and their club, but give it that golden age or that classic architecture look that everybody just loves. Like we all say, I didn't play Oak Hill, but holy cow, it looked great on TV.
Oak Hill might be our best major championship site, not counting Augusta. It's better than Oakmont. It's incredible. And Oak Hill, I mean, Hazeltine has that same potential. That course is already that good. So you could really, this could really be yet another thing for your resume. It looks going to look pretty good.
Well, they have, again, their club management, their board, their club president, they're on it. We're just a part of a great team. It'll be a great outcome. We're looking forward to this master planning stage, and we've already become friends with them. Obviously, I had a leg up out there because I was there a lot in 2015 and 2016. But we have a lot of great friends there. It's going to be a fun project, and it might need to be one that we actually like this Netflix thing that's going on in golf. We need to maybe film this because it's a big time job, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Well, I can give you the title, stealing it from a John Garrity series at Sports Illustrated. You can call it This Old Course.
That's right.
Well, it was great having you. It was great having you here today, Davis. I think we probably need to wrap it up, don't we, Kathy? She's the boss.
Well, we probably do. And thank you for so much of your time. We're going to do the shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Subscribe now. It's free. All you'll do is maybe get alerted when it's published and posted. Click like. Our goal, as I've said many times, we're trying to get enough viewers so we each earn 17 cents in revenue. So we're closing in on that. So thanks for watching. Davis, thanks for being part of this. Thanks for taking on this Hazeltine project. I can't wait to see it. I hope I can still break 90 by the time you get done.
And best of luck in the Ryder Cup.
I hope so too. Yeah, go USA. Thanks a lot.
You bet.